Yeah. Though we know who we are, yet we know not what we may be. So maybe I'm the one, or maybe I'm crazy. I'm from.
Hey guys, this is Kalu. Welcome back to your No Malarkey Guide to Programming. If you guys have been following my videos, you are starting to get a bit of an understanding of my principles, the Kalu method for learning new disciplines. And that is inductive reasoning, not deductive reasoning. That is example-based, not rule-based, bottom-up and not top-down. So what this means is going through many examples and not reading to figuring out what this language means. That means doing first and asking questions later. That means doing an iterative process. For you guys who don't understand big words, just pull up a dictionary, look up iterative. Iterative just means doing something over and over again to make it better. Doing something once and then doing it again to try to improve on it. So that is the process in which we're going to learn programming. We're just going to do many apps, make many apps, and then make it again. And through this process, we will slowly understand what the components, what the constituent parts of a programming app, what a Django app looks like. So we're going to continue where we last left off. We were able to render this web page, but it does not have any style. So how do we get style? We need to add our static assets. So the first thing we want to do is go back to our desktop and go back to where we got that HTML index.html file. You can see here this index.html file, this one in job apps, templates, job app. And we got that from this HTML 5-up highlights template that I gave you guys a link for. So hopefully you still have that. If you don't, you can go back to the next video or to the last video and get that link. So in here, we want to get this assets folder. I'm going to copy this assets folder, but really quickly, I'm going to explore inside of it. We see it has CSS fonts, JavaScript, and Sass. Yeah, that sounds good. We're just going to copy that, and we're going to go to our desktop to job site and inside of our jobs app. And just like we did with templates, Django expects our static file to be inside a folder called static. Inside of that folder, we're going to create another folder called jobs app. If you watched the last video, this is very similar to what we did with templates. And we're going to go inside that folder, and in here we're going to paste all of our static content. Here it is, assets. So next I'm going to go back to my index.html file inside Sublime. And if you guys missed that, I just went to job site, jobs app, templates, job app, index.html. So with this open, I'm going to close all these other ones to make it easier to see. So with this open, we can start editing the files that are going to comprise the styles. So as I said in the last video, the styles come from CSS, the images, and JavaScript. So here is linking a CSS file, and that is in assets CSS main.css. That's fine and dandy. We can see that we've now added that folder, static templates, or static job site assets, and it should be properly linked. So is it going to work if we just refresh and make sure that your server is on if you haven't turned it off from the last video? So if we refresh, we see that is not enough. That's because we need to link things the Django way. So what we need to do here is just copy after me, don't ask questions. We're going to write a curly bracket %, space, static, space, single quotation mark, and we're going to write the name of the directory that our assets are in. That's jobs_app /, and then we're going to put our cursors to the end in between the S here and this double quotation mark, and we're going to add a single quotation mark, space, %, curly bracket. We're going to save that doing Control S. You can see that it is saved because this is no longer a gray ball but a gray X. And I'm going to go back and refresh. It's going to give us this error, invalid. Please read error messages. Don't just be like, oh no, error messages. Go ahead and take the time to read it. You'll realize that it's not that complicated. So invalid block tag on line 13, static. Did you forget to load this tag? I know what this error means. If I didn't, I would just copy and paste on Google, and I'm sure there's a Stack Overflow answer that tells you exactly how to fix this problem, maybe within the first 2 results. But since I already know how to fix this problem, I'm going to go back to my index.html document, and I'm going to remember on the very first line, on line number 1, I'm gonna enter, and I'm gonna add this curly bracket percentage sign, and I'm gonna say load static, and then save it. Go back here and tell Django, thank you for the very helpful error message. I did forget to load the static message, or the static content, the static block tag, and I have now loaded it. So with that done, you can refresh your page, and look how beautiful your web page looks now. Look at that. It has all the styles. So now that we've linked our CSS/main.css that is responsible for our styles, let's go ahead and link the stuff that's responsible for our JavaScript. So I'm going to go down here to line number 450, and I'm going to do the same thing. Curly bracket percentage sign space static space single quotation mark jobs underscore app / go to the end in between the S and the double quotation mark. I'm going to add a single quotation mark space percentage sign curly bracket. I'm going to do the same thing here a little bit faster. Curly bracket percentage sign space static space single quotation mark jobs underscore app / go to the end single quotation mark percentage sign curly bracket. And I'm going to do the same for these rest, but I'm just going to go ahead and copy this part right here, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here, and paste it here. And I'm going to copy this part right here and do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what does all this mean? Don't worry about that, just do. And you can ask later. You can go ahead and look into the Django documentation to figure out what this funky curly bracket percentage sign. For now, suffice to say, all you need to know that it allows us to write Django code inside of an HTML document. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and save it and refresh to make sure that everything still works as intended. Beautiful. And that is looking really, really, really good. The one other thing that I want to do is change some of this images. So I can do SRE equals, and I want to do the same thing here. So I'm going to do curly bracket percentage sign. Actually, first I'm just going to paste what I already have in my clipboard down here. And then at the beginning, I'm going to do curly bracket percentage sign static space single quotation mark jobs underscore app, which is the name of our app, / and save that. And I'm going to copy this and I'm going to copy this, and everywhere that I see src, I'm going to go ahead and paste it there. So here I'm going to Control F src, and everywhere that I see that, I'm going to paste it here. Paste it, Control F, search the next src. I don't want these things. I don't care about this one. Oops, we missed one. Find previous. So this one is the next one. I'm going to paste it and then find next. Alright, looks like I got them all. So then I'm going to get the ending part right here and then paste it at the end of every src image. So src by the way means source. And make sure that everyone has the beginning and the end. And great, it is all done. I'm going to save with Control S, go back and refresh. And now our page is looking really nice. So that is it. We've rendered a web page. We haven't actually done anything, edited it in any way. We're going to build our models and be able to edit our web page. Why don't we go ahead and do this right now while we're here? This is what we eventually want to do. I'm going to change the section 1 right here. I'm going to write a job ad. So maybe software developer. And here in line number 41, I'm going to write a job description. Hello, we are looking for a software developer. If you're interested, please email me at blah 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 .qq.com or blah 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 at qq.com or AOL or gmail.com or whatever you want. So let's refresh and see what that looks like. It looks great. Software developer. Hello, we're looking for a software developer. If you're interested, please email me. Great. And I'm going to erase all these other sections. So section 1, section 2, I'm going to go ahead and erase all these other sections all the way down to line number 415 and only leave the footer. So now we just have the footer in section 1. I'm going to save it and reload by, I'm doing Control S, Alt Tab, Control R. Look how fast I can do that. So use these keyboard shortcuts and be an awesome, dope programmer. With that being said, we have now edited to just have this one section in this footer, and it looks just like this. Look at that. It only has our job title, our job description, and this. We're gonna copy this section, and just to show you what it looks like, I'm gonna paste it here, and we will change this up. So let's say cook. Hello, we are looking for a cook for our 5-star restaurant. Please email me at, let's give it a different email address. And so now we should have 2 job entries, software developer and cook. Look at how beautiful that is. So what we want is people can just post jobs, and it has a title and a description, and hopefully the description should have some method of contact, and then people could just come in here and look at what jobs are available in your community. What we eventually want to do is get this information, these sections, this title and this description. We don't want it to be hard-coded in our HTML document. We want users to save job listings in our database, and then we want to pull all this information dynamically from our database. What does that mean? Don't worry about it if you don't understand. Just watch the next video and we're going to do what that means. Again, what are we going to do in the next video? We're going to remove these from hard-coded information, and we're going to make it dynamically coded, which means that this information, what we have here, changes depending on what we have in our database. Alright, thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you at the next one.
Financial freedom, my only hope.